Hey, yeah, so hi community. Today we will discuss like what will be the roadmap for API automation. Okay, so let's see about it. So, roadmap for API automation, right? So, how can we proceed with the API automation, which is very important nowadays for every automation engineer? Most of the companies are asking for a backend automation as well, along with the Selenium or the UI automation, either the mobile or the website automation. They are also asking about the backend automation as well. Okay, so there are a few points that we can discuss here. So I have written few key points. So firstly will be we should have some prior knowledge to start the API automation. So firstly will be manual testing concepts. So manual testing concepts are moreover the testing concepts we have, the testing concepts we know about the manual testing, those are concepts should be known. Like as an example I have written few points here, like yeah, so how website and mobile works, right? So how the website works, how the browser works, what all things we require a browser to show the display of UI, what all things require, how the data is getting saved from the UI to the backend, right? So these are information we should be aware about it. And then how the web UI is consuming the API, and they are then saving the data. So suppose there is some web UI and then they are consuming some API which is like saving some data in the database. So these all functionality we should be aware of. Then also we should be also aware of what all the type of testing we have. As an example, like same functionality testing, regression testing, all type of testing like smoke testing, uh, sanity testing, smoke testing, what are like the system testing, integration testing, JMeter for the performance testing, and those all things we should be aware of. And also we should be aware of, like I have written one point, like how the cron job and all these things happens, in organization, how the cron jobs happens, if any update happens in the organization, in the product, what all things gets updated, and or if any build comes or any functionality of the product, how the data is getting saved in the DB, and what all DB we have, how it is working properly, how it is connecting with the user interface. So those all things we should be aware in the manual testing. So as an example, I feel that it will take nearby 10 days to gain all the knowledge about it. Okay, so that will be the manual testing. Another thing will be like any language we should be aware of. Either it should be Python or it should be Java if you are considering, and like any language like Golang, or what else? What else language you have, like JS, JavaScript, or JavaScript language. Yeah, so any language whichever you are comfortable with, those language we should be aware of. So then we should be easily know the basics of the, at least more than basic of the any language which help to automate the APIs, right? I think 30 days will be required to cover up all these. Like there will be basic concept, then OOPS, then data structures. Yeah, so collections and all, like what all things where you can read about it, and then a little bit about DS and algo. So yeah, so these all things we should be aware of. Then only we can start with the automation. Okay, so the next will be manual API testing. So we also should be aware of manual API testing, where we have to work with the, we should be aware how manual API testing works. So like basics of the API, like types of the API, what all the methods of the REST APIs we will be having, like post, delete, put, and all these methods. Then basic auth, token auth, and advanced auth, and data validation, response, headers, content type, success codes, what all codes will be occurring whenever the code will, whenever your hit will get succeeded, what code will occur, what is the meaning of 201, 202, 401, 400, 500, 502, 404, 503. So there will be like a number of status code that we should be aware of. So that will be another part of the testing that we should be aware of without before starting the API automation. So this is very much important. So that's why it is in priority. Okay. So next will be like mostly once we are aware of all these three things, then we can start with go with the framework creation, or we can start with the framework creation. Okay. So there will be two approaches mostly we have to learn first. You can choose anyone, like it is 1 and 2. So either you go with the test driven approach or the behavior driven. Like many organizations use the test driven approaches as well, and a lot of organization also uses the BDD. So that's not an issue. You just have to start with one framework first, and then once you suppose you have completed it, then you move to another. So inside that there will be few points I have mentioned, like you should be aware of how derivation between the cases, what all cases will be automated, what all are front end cases, what all are back end and API related cases, functionality wise. So those all you should be aware of what all the test cases you have to automate. Then you should be aware what all the things you can make in a utility file. That will be like, this will be like common code that can be reused. And then there will be test cases, what all test cases you can automate. And start writing test cases, not just automation. This is like about the automation as well. Okay, then the passing of the data may be like with JSON or XML. So this is also important. Then handling the auth, as I said, like we do in the Postman, the same way we should be aware how to handle via automation basic auth or advanced token auth. Then validation of the data, like by assertion or by any other medium that you are going to do. And the generation of report like extent or what else, allure, whatever. Yeah, so these all things are important to framework creation. Okay, so once suppose you have created a suppose you have created a proper framework, and now you are able to run it, and it is getting run properly, and everything has been optimized in such a way. Like, suppose you have given all the fixtures, and you have grouped the test cases properly. Suppose all these things you have done under the test cases, so and it is running correctly for you. So then you can move with the CICD, where you will have the build automation for your automation, where you can go with any tool like Jenkins or GitLab. Yeah, Jenkins, GitLab are most widely used tool for the API automation. Also there are like AWS tools as well, like there also you can learn it. So here you have to mostly learn the Git, integration code, SCM, polling, and then check plugins, plugin building, and all, how you can do that, passing the token and giving the webhook, these all things. So yeah, scheduling the time, report generation, hosting the reports, email trigger. If here you are building, then how to trigger the SMTP server and all, set up for the email trigger and all. So these all things will come under CICD, where you have to automatically make the end-to-end, where you just have someone has to just come and just trigger the build. So the report should get generated. Everyone should be able to get in a email, right? So that will be Jenkins. That will be CICD approach. Okay. So this will be basically few points that you have to follow for the roadmap of API automation. So yeah, so again I have derived here how much days it will take for you. So if you don't have a coding knowledge, it may take 70 days. If you have a coding knowledge, then it may take 40 days. And also we like on an average we are assuming like 2 hours to 3 hours maybe daily. So yeah, so it will take nearby 40 to 70 days. 40 to 70 days it will take you to become an API automation or the backend automation engineer. Yeah, everything has not been included, like automating the database and everything, but that could be done in the next phase. But this will be like basic or the moderate level of a framework creation of the API automation. You may require at least 40 to 70 days to complete all this. Yeah. So yeah, that's it guys. That will be moreover about roadmap of API automation. Thank you guys.